What's happening, people? Today, I'm going to go over how to use music to actually learn a language. So, music is cool because it can serve two purposes. You can use it to learn just words. That's a great way to do it. And you can also use it to learn whole entire expressions and sentences, right? Maybe like a colloquial kind of expression that we have in English and you see it, and that's what the translation is given as. And you, in that case, you don't want to learn like each individual word, but rather just maybe break it down later. But remember that, Valió la pena, which is a song by Mark Anthony, means it was worth it. First key to doing this is that we need to look for the song plus the English, Spanish. I just put English, Spanish, and usually that is enough to bring it up. And so there's a couple of key things that we need to keep in mind. Firstly, we need to keep in mind the genre, right? Like when I learned Spanish, I was really into rap and hip hop music. So I tried to listen to reggaeton, which reggaeton, just like if you were learning English and trying to listen to rap, they speak fast and they speak not so great. So it's not the easiest one to understand. I think that there's kind of levels to it, right? I think probably the easiest is going to be bachata music. It's the one I found to be the best when I was learning. It's slowish. They speak really clearly, and they don't have like a really super weird accent most of the time when they're singing. Right? And it's easy to follow along. Right? They also tend to repeat everything multiple times. Right? After that, I think like rancheras, and I'm talking like old school ranchera music from Mexico. Right? Like if you don't have any idea, like Vincente Fernandez kind of thing, right? Bachata, I would recommend like Romeo Santos, Prince Royce are probably the two best, I think, to start out, right? And rancheras are cool, but they do have a little bit more of like the storytelling aspect, especially Fernandez has a lot of this, and pretty much all of them. They have like some aspect of storytelling, right? So they're a little bit more involved. You got to pay a little bit more attention, right? But they're also really, really good. After this, I would say your probably best bet is like maybe like salsa music, a little bit faster paced, but still pretty clear, right? This is like what Mark Anthony is. Then I would go with probably like the newer school, like Mexican regional music. Now you're starting to get into rap. It's slower than rap most of the time, but you're starting to get into that. Oh, I lied. I'm going to change that. I'm going to say that's number five in terms of music. And then I'm going to say number four is like Spanish pop. Like you get like your carrot cheese and things like that. And this is going to be like Peso Pluma is a real popular one here now. And then number six is reggaeton. Reggaeton, they've got a lot of expressions. They've got a lot of it's like listening to rap, like if you don't know that culture, you're not familiar with that scene, you're not gonna understand it as much. Versus like bachata, ranchera, salsa, they're talking about love, they're talking about normal everyday things. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick a song, right? We'll pick bachata, right? We'll go with Prince Royce, Corazon Sin Cara, English, Spanish. And so I'm going to go through this as if I don't speak Spanish, right? So we got this song, and we're going to listen to a little bit of it. And as I come up on things, I'm going to stop and point out what I would do in this situation if I was a learner. So Corazon Sin Cara. This is easy enough, right? Heart without a face. So, like for example, tampoco. Let's say that tampoco is not typically a word most people learn in the beginning, right? So we look at it in the Spanish, tampoco, neither, right? It's the opposite of también, right? También is also, tampoco is neither, right? Like neither I nor you, tampoco yo ni tú, right? Or I guess it would be tú ni yo, because that's the correct word. Tampoco tú ni yo, right? Tampoco él, right? Neither him neither, right? Solo sé que yo te quiero así. Solo sé. So say here is I know, and then solo is like only, right? So we can use that. I would suggest taking it and putting in a sentence. Solo me gustas tú. I just like you, right? Solo quiero comer. I just want to eat. I only want to eat. So like, for example, I'm looking at this in Alma, and I wouldn't be pausing this video necessarily. I would just be like with a pen and a paper, sitting beside the computer and be like, Alma, look down, love, and soul, alma, soul. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. And then once I'm done listening to the song, I'm gonna go back and make sure I've got the definition correct, look it up, use it in a sentence or two so that it sticks in my head. So, like for example, maybe I want to learn like expression, right? And I see prende una vela, right? Light a candle, or rézale a Dios, right? Something that I'm going to use. Maybe this isn't the best example, but just to give an idea, right? Or dale gracias, right? Dale gracias is like give thanks, right? So you could learn that as an expression. So the next time you're with your kid and you want to tell them, hey, say thanks, right? Dale gracias. Right? Or, dale gracias al Señor, right? Give thanks to the man, right? Just so like I think this is a good one as well. Like you can learn here like blanquita, morenita, right? Blanquito, morenito, right? And you'll notice here that this ito ending, it's like making it littler or like sweeter or cuter, right? And you could also learn like the command of mírame, right? Look at me. Mírame bien. Me well, right? You could learn the word aunque, though, right? Although, or nadie, nobody, right? So write these words down and put them into putting them into sentences later on, right? So maybe when I listen to this song once or twice or however many times, right? You can listen to it as many times as you need, right? And this is the reason I rank bachata songs on the lower end of the scale because they're slightly easier. They tend to repeat the chorus. They have a one or two verses, right? And they just repeat, repeat. It's very slow. They pronounce everything really well. Now, if I, for example, go with let's go with Valeo la Pena, right? The one we were looking at the beginning, which is salsa. So we're jumping up a couple levels, right? And we want to read this. All right. So again, same thing. This is going to be like a little step up, right? But we're looking for words and expressions. We're writing them down, and then we're going to put them into sentences later, right? So I'm listening to this song, right? Getting into it, dancing a little bit. So like, me inspiran tus palabras, right? Your words inspire me, right? This is really good to pay attention to because when you look at music like this, you also get words that you start to recognize patterns, right? Again, language is just patterns, right? So you recognize these patterns and you can start to guess at more words, right? Like inspirar, right? It's really similar to inspire, right? There's lots of words that are like that. I like this one. So de nada me arrepiento, right? I would just write that whole expression down, right? And then when I go to put it into sentences, I would just try and make up a scenario where that expression would fit, right? De nada me arrepiento, right? Like Vivo Mexico, de nada me arrepiento, right? Something like that. This is going to be a really good song if you want to like learn how to flirt in Spanish, right? Nena, right? Eres mi bendición, right? Para estar contigo, amor, to be with you, my love, right? And these are two really great expressions, for example, right now. Enhorabuena, congratulations. You'll use this quite a lot. This one comes up a lot. And people want to use it, congratulaciones or whatever, right? But that is not it, right? Enhorabuena. And then valió la pena, it was worth it. Valió la pena vivir en México. Valió la pena estudiar en la universidad, whatever it may be. So I'll leave that here for today. But that's the idea, right? And now, once we've listened to this song for a little bit and we've decided we've got a list of maybe 10 or 15 new words and phrases, I want you to take that and I want you to put them into sentences. Make them real sentences that you actually might say that are actually realistic for you to use in real life, right? And practice them. And then the next morning, I suggest that you get up and just look at those sentences, right? And just looking at them once a day or twice a day for 5 minutes or 2 or 3 days, and those expressions will set in, right? Because it's not how hard you study, it's the amount of times you see things, right? What you need is the repetition. Right on, you guys. Thank you so much for paying attention. If you guys have any questions, if you guys need help with anything, please leave it down in the comments below. If you like this video, click here to watch another one. And like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And if you have anything you need help with, leave it down below. See you in the next video.